Well, I first met Chris when I moved to ALA, or when I moved to South Africa. So that was like around 2014. Seems so long ago. Chris used to do these Dean talks in the mornings, in Saturday mornings. And we used to talk a lot about just life. Like it was a lot of, like coming from a Kenyan high school, like a lot of these types of talks with authority, like figures in authority are usually very kind of like very rigid, very strict, like not really, like they usually like take a certain form just to like keep that sense of like hierarchy in place. But I remember like the talks that Chris used to do, used to be very comforting. Like we used to like come in, and he was never really like, he wouldn't stand on the stage. Like he would walk around the auditorium to like feel closer to the students, and we'll just like talk about our experience. Like we didn't really have like a very set agenda. It was just like a space for us to like speak and share what we feel. A lot of us were obviously like very young adults, like 16, 15 years old. So these were very big changes to like live by yourself in a different country. So there was obviously a lot of things that came up. And I remember really appreciating like those kinds of opportunities where we're able to speak to someone who has some power to change things, but also who's just there willing to understand and willing to know what's going on in our lives. Seeing how Chris was able to like just encourage a sort of like understanding and sense of community between all these different cultures. Because even I remember coming into ALA and just being completely like in culture shock. I think, for example, my culture shock in ALA was much more than when I came to North Carolina, which is hard to believe. And that's just because of all the different people that were there. He's a very open person, and he's very willing to just sit down and speak to you and help you figure out life, or just like small things in general. Like it doesn't have to be anything big or grand.